35 Gainesville football players will remain suspended after a massive fight during a playoff game against Brunswick. This comes after an appeal hearing between the school and the Georgia High School Association. Atlanta News First Imani Watson reports from Gainesville with much more on the hearing and what parents have to say about all this.
Only 4 of the 39 players who were initially suspended will be able to continue to play. Gainesville High School officials advocated for more players, but the Georgia High School Association board saw things differently.
Motion passed 8-2.
During an appeal hearing Tuesday, the Georgia High School Association board voted to uphold the suspensions of 35 Gainesville football players. This is video of that massive brawl between Brunswick and Gainesville football players during last Friday's game. It apparently began when a Brunswick player ripped the helmet off a Gainesville player, then both sidelines ran onto the field. Gainesville head football coach Josh Niblett spoke passionately about defending his players.
When your brother doesn't have a helmet on and a guy takes a 40-yard sprint and hits him and sideswipes him, you're just going to stand on the sideline? No, you're going to do what's natural, and you're going to protect your brothers. And that's the way I raise these kids, to have each other's back.
Gainesville was found guilty of violating sportsmanship and sideline control bylaws. School officials did not appeal all 39 players who were suspended, admitting that 4 of their players were in the wrong during the fight. But they say the other 35 should be able to play in this week's state quarterfinal game. The board overturned 4 players' suspensions, 2 defensive players who were already on the field and did not participate in the fight, and the 2 players whose helmets were ripped off. Still, GHS parents believe the decision to suspend most of the players is not fair.
It's a difference if you're going out to start something, but if you're defending yourself, you can't fault that.
During the hearing, the board said Brunswick will also face suspensions, but because their football season has now ended, those suspensions will carry over to the next season. Reporting in Gainesville, I'm Imani Watson, Atlanta News First.